Good day. Today we're going to be looking at finding angle measurements by using Trig. If you know how to set up the sine, cosine, and tangent ratio for an angle, you can use the inverse ratio, arc sine, arc cosine, arc tangent, to find the measure of the angle. Alright, for number 1, I have opposite in the 15, and I have the hypotenuse as a 24. Opposite over hypotenuse is sine, so sine of x equals opposite 15 over hypotenuse 24. From here, I'm going to do the arc sine, so x equals arc sine 15 over 24. Approximately, now we're going to go to Desmos to do this. You are not going to be expected in Math 2 to know any of these sine ratios in your head. You will be asked to remember a few special ones in Math 3. But for us, Desmos is going to be our best friend. And this isn't a special one anyway, but I'm going to type in arc sine, ARC, sine 15 over 24. This is approximately 38.7 degrees. Once again, I do want to remind you, make sure you are not in radian mode. If I'm in radian, it gives me 0.675. I need to be in degree mode for these to be correct. Something I do want to point out. On some places, you will have the inverse ratio as sine, for this problem, -1 exponent of 15 over 24. Matter of fact, in Desmos on functions, I have to find it because I don't use it in this. It gives me sine -1 up top. I do want to show you these are the same thing. However, I hate the second way of writing this. The reason is, in Math 3, you'll be looking at inverse ratios, reciprocal ratios, of sine, cosine, and tangent. That is, well, I'm going to tell you what they are. You don't need to know this, but it's cosecant, secant, and cotangent. We're not worrying about those at all in Math 2. However, I do want you to be in the habit of writing arc sine, arc cosine, arc tangent when solving for x. Let's look at number 6 and 3. 3 and 6. Nope, I don't want to do 3 actually. 4 and 6. Number 4. I have the adjacent in my 18. I have the hypotenuse in the 23. If you remember the ratios, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so cosine of x equals 18 over 23. To solve for x, I'm going to take the arc cosine. Type this in Desmos. .5 degrees, approximately. Number 6. I have the opposite. I have the adjacent. Remember the ratios. Opposite over adjacent is tangent. So tangent of x is 7 over 5. X is arc tan of 7/5. 54.5 degrees. rounding. Take a moment and try 2 through 5. Okay. Numbers 7 through 16, you should be able to do. Actually, I'm going to do number 16. 7 through 15, you should be able to do from what we've done yesterday in the using trig to find side lengths, and today's lesson, finding angle measurements. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Pause the video, try 7 through 15. Let's look at 16. For number 16, we have find the measure of angle W given the figure below. So I'm looking for this angle. Now to be able to solve this angle, I need to find a length here or here. Because the right length has a triangle, I'm going to be solving for it. So I don't know what I want to put here. I'm going to put a star. So to find this length, I'm given the opposite as 15 of this right triangle. I'm looking for the hypotenuse. Opposite of hypotenuse is sine, so sine of 25 equals 15 over star. Star is equal to 15 over sine 25. $35.5 approximately. Because I'm going to be using this measurement, I'm going to go out to 3 decimal places, so 35.493. That should give me a very close answer to what it actually is. Okay, from here, I have 35.493 as the length of the leg on the second triangle, the one on the left. I have this as the opposite of my angle, and the 22 is adjacent of my angle. Opposite of adjacent is tangent, so tangent of my question mark, what I'm looking for, is equal to opposite 35.493 over my adjacent 22. Question mark is equal to arctan 35.493 over 22. $58.2 degrees. Okay, that one is finished. These last two are word problems. I'm going to let you do the one about a ladder. I'm going to do the one about the kite. Jaden is flying a kite and lets off 275 feet of string. Here's my Jaden. She's letting off 275 feet of string. So her kite is flying in the air. There we go. That's about as artistic as I can be. If the kite is 150 feet above the ground, at what angle does the string make with the ground? So I'm going to make a dashed line here to represent the angle of the ground. Because I have 150 feet high, that is an altitude, I have a right angle. And I'm looking for what angle does this make, theta. Okay? And theta is the symbol, which is like a 0 with a line through it for degrees, or radians, but in this case, degrees, for the angle. All right, now, I have the opposite in the height, and I have the hypotenuse in the string. Sine of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, 150 over 275. So my theta is going to be equal to arc sine of 150 over 275. Arc sine, I know I'm using the shortcut in functions. That's just because it's a pain on the iPad to get over and type the letters. So I'm taking a shortcut. Please type in arc sine. That way I know you won't mess up later. Is equal to 33.1 degrees. Finished. Go ahead and pause the video and try number 17. Okay, here's your answers. Eventually, here will be your answers. Like I said, some people do like using the -1 to write this. I do not recommend that, but that's how it's worked out on these problems. Anywhere you see, like for number 12, tan, -1, 25 over 78, I want you to read that arc tangent 25 over 78. Anyway. There's all the problems. That is all that I have for you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.